propósito de Dios,
And we began to understand God's
el
purpose.
que no fuéramos a la República
That we didn't
Dominicana.
go to
¿Por
the
qué?
Dominican.
Porque empezamos a visitar a las personas mexicanas,
Because we began to visit the Mexicans here,
que sus familias
whose families
están en México,
were back in Mexico,
se dañaron sus casas, en algunos
with damaged homes, some of them,
murieron familias,
family members who had been
se
lost,
cayeron sus hogares.
houses that fell.
Entonces entendimos el por qué no fuimos a la República Dominicana. ¿Cuál era el propósito de Dios?
We understand why
Que
God did
estuviéramos
this.
aquí ministrando
He wanted us here ministering
a mis paisanos mexicanos
to my countrymen
del amor,
of the love
la misericordia
and mercy
de Dios
of God
y el propósito a veces.
and the purpose
¿Por qué pasan estas cosas a nosotros?
why these things happen to us.
Amén.
Amen.
Amen.
Talking about a concept called shazon, which is a Hebrew word taken from Proverbs. Without a shazon, the people perish. Without a vision, without a sense of purpose, without a life direction. Verse 1, he says, now about the gifts of the Spirit, brothers and sisters, I do not want you to be uninformed. You got some learning to do, folks, is what he says. This is written to a church in a town called Corinth. And he says, the gifts of the Spirit require teaching. Picking it up in verse 3, therefore I want you to know that no one who is speaking by the Spirit of God says, Jesus be cursed. Interesting. We're going to look at that in a little more detail. The spiritual gifts honor Jesus. That's our second point we're going to look at in a moment. Down to verse 7, it says, now to each one the manifestation of the Spirit is given for the common good. Point number 3 is the spiritual gifts serve the body. And down to verse 11, all these are the work of one and the same Spirit, and He distributes them to each one just as He determines. My fourth point today, spiritual gifts fulfill God's purpose. So we're going to work through those 4 points. Some people define them differently. Here's a basic list that I work from in 3 different categories. These are often referred to as the office gifts. Apostle, prophet, evangelist, pastor, teacher. Okay, and then over on the far side here we have what we call the motivational gifts. And it's typically thought that every believer is motivated by a motivational gift. That one of these is what fuels you to get going in a certain direction. Okay? And then the center list is what we call the manifestational gifts, where the Spirit shows both Himself, the working of God, and indirectly Christ. The manifesting is of Christ. Okay, the Spirit came upon the early church so that they could show Christ to the world, manifest Christ to the world. No one can truly in their heart genuinely say Jesus is Lord except the Spirit has birthed that in you. Right? That the church can believe for the miraculous because we've been given the same gifts, the same tools. If the spiritual gifts are tools to get the job done, tools to fulfill the mission, I don't believe it's in the heart of God to take gifts away before we get the job done. Each person responds differently, and God has put you in the body that your response is a part of the whole picture of what He's trying to do in and through a group of people. That's why it's absolutely and vitally important that each person be fulfilling their role. Nobody scores 0. Okay, turn to the person next to you and say, "You're not a 0.
You're not a 0.
Everybody's got a gifting. Everybody's got a place to plug into the body. God has gifted each member. If the Spirit called you, remember what we said, no one says Jesus is Lord except by the Holy Spirit. And so as you allow the Holy Spirit to work in your life, He will bring you revelation and the opportunity to develop your spiritual gifts. So there's a moment in your life when you need the working of the Holy Spirit. The greater gift is God providing what you need through a member of His body. Boom, there it is. Okay, so if I get a flat tire on the 402, and I'm on the side of the road on the 402, and you pull up, and you say, "Oh, Pastor, here you are on the side of the road, and I brought you a gift, and it's just perfect. It's a diamond-studded toaster." And it doesn't matter how much you paid for that toaster. It doesn't matter how nice it shines. You see your face in it. It's not going to get me home. The greater gift would be a 220 R70, R50, 70, whatever. A tire. A tire is the greater gift, or even better, switch me cars. The greater gift is when God intervenes in the moment, particularly through His body, and maybe you've seen this happen, where the exercise of a gift on someone else's behalf met you at your point of need, and you go, "Wow, God is at work." That's awesome when that happens. So my closing question, the band is coming back as we conclude the service today. What does God want to do in this community that we can't do on our own?
Today, will I stand?